to survive at all. I really just need to spread my own DNA. I shouldn't care about anybody else.
That is your interpretation of humanity, which is kind of indictment of the church.
That is evolution 101, my friend. That is evolution 101. You need to go back and learn evolution.
Not at all. You're talking about
animals. You got a different evolution
humans.
that you made up in your mind?
No, you're talking about the difference between the animal and the human. The human has the ability to think and ability to remember, which means bad
we're
things
from animals,
and good
according
things,
to evolutionary theory.
Which means bad things and good things, they can use logic to determine
Where did we come from, Nas?
They can determine the best course going forward. Animals
Nas, where did we come from? Did we come from an animal?
That's not how evolution works, man. We had this conversation last time as well. I don't think you understood it then,
right.
And you don't understand it now.
So so do you know where we came from?
Rewind again. Now we're asking the same question. Look, man, you got
Notice how he doesn't
tonight.
answer.
You got flustered tonight. It's okay, man. You got mad. You wanted to get off the phone, but for some reason you were still on the phone after you promised me you were leaving.
I asked you a simple question.
A Christian lie. I don't care about your question.
You don't care about my question?
You told me
but you're making a defense for evolution, so I just wanted to know where you think we came from.
No, I don't have to give you any authority. You told me you didn't go to school. So why should you determine the conversation?
We can just believe what we want, right? I mean, we can just believe what we want.
Says the unlettered man with a Bible in his hand.
Yep, that's me, man, with a book.
Gentlemen. What?
Thank you, man. I'm glad you put a stop to that. Thanks for jumping in.
Can I interject for a second?
Please.
Okay. I've been watching this program called Jewish 101, and the rabbi.
We don't care, Mark.
What?
We don't care.
Oh, okay. In that case,
getting mad again.
That's all right. I'll just get my 2 cents.
I hear this. Sir,
I know.
Can you finish your statement? I know he was rude, but I'd like.
No, I don't think he really meant it. He was joking.
Obviously, dude. Lighten up a little bit, would you?
What happens is the rabbi, who does an excellent job, discusses the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, and he discusses the Midrash. The Midrash is the rabbinical interpretation of what's in the Torah. Okay, the things that the Torah does not really explain. And just to give you an example, after the flood, okay, Noah looked down and he saw thousands of dead bodies, dead animals. And he looked up at the heavens and he said to God, "Why? How could you do this?" And God said to Noah, "Now you ask me?" He said, "Where were you?" No, really. He said, "Where were you last year?" Because this goes along with what both of you, or at least what Naj is trying to say. Where were you last year when I told you to build the ark? And where were you 2 years ago when you saw how evil man was to himself and each other? Because the Midrash tells us, Rabbi Maimonides tells us, that it's man's job that when you see evil, you try to stop it, you try to change it. And if you do nothing, you have to pay the consequences. Now, God also made his covenant with Noah. After seeing the destruction, he said he will never do that again to mankind. In other words, when he made man, he said when he made man, he made him with good and evil, in the hopes that the good would outweigh the evil. Sort of like the old Daffy Duck on each shoulder, the good Daffy Duck and the bad Daffy Duck. That's what I used to tell my students when we used to do moral dilemmas, okay? And what the Midrash, what the rabbis are telling us is that it's man's job to stop evil wherever possible, to always move forward and stop evil. Okay? And I just wanted to throw that in because Noah, looked around and saw this devastation and the death, and he blamed God, and God said, no. He said, this is your fault. because you saw all this and you did nothing to stop it.
Quick question. If somebody created beings in their image and then decided one day they needed to drown the majority of them, what does that reflect on the creator? And then I'd ask you, how big was this so-called ark that this person put 2 of every so-called animal on this ark? And how did he get the animals that were only available on certain continents? Did he get the kangaroos from Australia?
Well, you see,
how did he get these
the
animals
midrash
that weren't natural to the area he was in? All of this stuff.
No, I know.
These are old world stories.
You're right, and it says in the midrash.
And as time goes on, they don't bear out.
I know.
And it's sad to hear grown humans believe in this stuff.
But you see, the story of Noah is not a children's story, although it's made to seem like a children's story. It's teaching a moral lesson that we are each and every one of us responsible for each other. First of all, the Midrash says there was no ark. Okay?
Exactly.
Nothing at all. There was no ark. But it goes along with the story.
I think now people get an understanding of how the Bible is useful. A man just explained that it's useful for learning lessons and teaching. That's what it's useful for.
And that's what
in the days where most people couldn't read or write, the fact that somebody had these different stories and parables to where they could explain something to somebody was very useful in its day. But now in 2016, these things are not only not useful, but they become a distraction and an impediment to man's advancement.
And by the way, now it's got that information from the same.
You see, but the lessons
was 6,000 years old.
The lesson these stories as if they're true. That's what becomes a problem. Well, yeah, I agree with you. That's a great lesson in the way that you teach. I agree. You're correct.
And I highly recommend, because I'm gonna do this. It could cost a lot of money, but I'm gonna get copies of the 10 books in the Midrash, where learned rabbis throughout history explain certain portions and stories of the Torah. So if you're going to go by the Old Testament, you read what it says, they will interpret it or help you interpret it. But the bottom line is, and it really makes a lot of sense, it's man's inhumanity to man. We do evil to each other all the time. Okay? Along with what you said, Naj, I used to ask my students, when you're in the city, how many times do you step over a homeless man sleeping on a piece of cardboard? They become part of the scenery. You don't even see them after a while. Do you do anything to lift the finger to try to help the person? And in the most part, the answer is no, we don't. So when going back to,
I would recommend people check out Robert Greene Ingersoll, great American Civil War veteran, congressman, activist, and also ardent fighter against these so-called religions. The great Mark Twain, who had beautiful things to say about not only the fallacies of religion, but the beauty of humanity and what we could be if we throw these things away and actually look at the good that we provide.
Hey, Mark, I want to talk to you for just a moment, okay? Now, hold on just one second. The argument earlier about the morality base, okay, you gave the example of the homeless people, okay? It went beyond our human depravity with Naz's argument. What he was saying was, and the whole argument between the two of us was, he's invalidating a particular faith because of what certain people have done. And then I reiterated again, and he says, well, you show me in history where that didn't happen. I said, Naz, just because somebody treats somebody terrible, which I agree they have, including American slavery, all in the name of Christ, by the way, a lot of them were so-called Christians, doesn't make it untrue.
Let me just give you right. Let me give you another. Let me give you.
So this isn't just about. Hold on, guys. This isn't just about walking over homeless people and that us humans treat each other horribly. his argument was, we treat each other horribly, and we do it in the name of religion. Therefore, it's not true. There's another depth.
No, we don't do it in the name. We don't.
But I'll make my argument for myself. Thank you. But go ahead, sir. I'll wait till you're done.
We don't do it
That's what
in.
you said.
We don't. No, listen, guys.
That's exactly what
I
you said.
really don't think we do it in the name of any religion. We do it because it's easier not to see these people. Okay, it's easier just to go about our business. Okay, when I worked in day camp, and the kids would go on a trip to the city, you know, to the museum or whatever it was, they always packed a box lunch. You know, milk, cookies, sandwich. And anything that wasn't used, technically, you have to throw it out because you can't bring back food, even though it wasn't touched. I used to collect all the uneaten, unused lunches in their little boxes, and I would find somebody sitting someplace in a corner, because there are plenty of people in the city, and I would bring it up to them, and I would say, here, take some and give it out to your friends, because that's how I was brought up. Okay?
Now, sir, would your upbringing provide that in you, with or without religion? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the morality of man is not based in religion. They're trying to take credit for actual good deeds that people would do if they had never heard of a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or anything else. That's what I'm trying to explain to him.
Well,
like, he makes this point. He says, well, hold on, because he just made the point for me and said that's what I said, which is incorrect. I said that all of these atrocities have been done, and because religion was a part of it, he's saying that I'm saying, therefore religion is fake. No, I'm saying religion has been about
Isn't
power,
that your whole
conquest,
argument?
power,
That's your whole argument.
Go ahead, man. You don't want me to talk. Go ahead.
But that's your whole argument. And then you go back, contradict yourself, and saying that I'm wrong. That doesn't even make any sense. Your whole argument is
that's what's happening.
Organized religion.
I'm not making sense.
True.
You just tried to interrupt the man when he told you the Ark story wasn't true to tell him it was. You told us dinosaurs and humans walked the earth at the same time. You don't have a good grasp of the actual world, man. You've been living in that book too long.
Evil book. Evil.
Well,
right?
Okay.
I mean, see, that's what you're saying. It's evil.
No, I'm saying,
that's my argument now. Is that it's not evil. That you don't understand it.
I'm saying that book was to teach you lessons, and you took it literally. And because you took it literally, you're confused.
Hey Nas, why do you get to choose what the book means?
It's not me. You can go to his rabbi sources that he just gave you. It's
How do you
not
know
me.
he's telling the truth?
These aren't my
How do you know he's
concepts.
telling the truth?
These are the concepts of, for the most part, Green Ingersoll, Mark Twain, any other atheist. I'll give you Christopher Hitchens, who I'm sure you hate. But Christopher Hitchens,
I don't hate anybody, sir. So stop making false assumptions about me. I don't hate
you just
soul.
Well, you just told me it came from me, and now I told you who it came from, and then you interrupt.
Well,
I said I got upset. I get upset at my wife. It doesn't mean I hate her. Okay, so don't spread false lies about how I feel about people.
Well,
have you ever been prescribed any medication? How about this question? Have you ever been prescribed any medication by a doctor?
If I ever been prescribed to a medicine that wasn't from a doctor.
Yes, Chad.
Have you ever been prescribed any medicine for mental illness?
Other than an aspirin, no.
Antidepressant?
Nope.
Have you ever seen a therapist?
You know, may I?
I'm asking.
I'm trying to understand where he's getting at with this. No, I don't know what you mean. What ask the question again?
Have you seen a therapist before? Or a psychiatrist?
Never seen a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Do I need to?
I was interested, that's all.
Naj, if we may, what's your education? What is your education?
Oh, simple. Just an associate's.